It's Moodle time!
Alright, welcome to Moodle time. I got something very important to show you. So this is going to change your world, hopefully. So right now I have this Moodle here. It's got 9 sections here. And now that we have the WCLN, the Western Canadian Learning Network resources, the Moodles there, we can actually import them. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the, here I can just show you here. Don't want to spend too much time doing this, but you can go in, log in with your username and password. If you don't know about that, look at the video just before this to set that up. Sorry, almost forgot. And then you can look through all the Moodles, and I'd suggest going through the courses. Anyway, I did all this. I was looking for a physics course, so I found a bunch of these 3 physics courses. And so the next step, once you find ones that you like, then the next step is to actually email Mark and let him know that that you'd like to have these courses, access to these courses. All right. After you do that, then when Mark has time to give you those courses, I'll go to my home here. You can see all 3 of those courses are here. Now I have access to them. And so if you click on, let's say Physics 20 here, I'm just going to turn off editing just so that you can see what it'll look like. Here I have a bunch of units. Now what I've decided strategy-wise is these units are, or some of them are, either a mixture or a actual complete unit, and pretty much identical to the ones that I teach. So I thought instead of putting all my stuff into a Moodle, I would just actually first put in their stuff and then modify it so that it's the way I want to teach it. And I think that's going to be the easiest strategy for creating your own Moodle here. And actually it's kind of nice, like when I go through this math unit here in physics, it does all the things that I usually do and a couple of things that I don't do, which was like, hey, this is nice, because I think it'll help to improve your own teaching if you're open to that kind of thing. So but okay, here's the big pro tip that I want to show you. And that is, if you try to just import, so again, you go to the Moodle that you want to import to. So let's say it's Moodle time in this case. I want to import, but I already have a bunch of units here made up. Okay, so I have 9 units. If you go to import, say from Physics 20, go continue. I would, for this importing, if you're importing a unit time, I just include everything here, all the things. Just go next. If I say wanted to import this first unit here, which is the one about math, what will happen is when I say yes and all that, and I'm going to cancel this out because I don't want that to happen. So, oh, I should just press cancel. What will happen is all of that stuff from their unit 1, from that first Moodle or that physics Moodle, will be put in here, and it's going to just put it on the bottom of this, and that is probably not what you want, because this is an electricity unit and that was a math unit, and now I have all their math content inside my electricity unit, and that's not too cool. And I'll show you what I did. This is my mistake that I made. So here's my physics, and so I did download a bunch of them, and you'll notice that inside of modern physics I have math, and inside of stuff you should know I have motion, and inside of force and motions I have another motion one, and they're not in the places I want. And so there's a little bit of work, like under conservation laws I have forces, so that's not cool. And so and on top of that, sorry, I should say this too, but if you have, it didn't happen in that one, but if you say, upload a course from one, say from Physics 20, I uploaded this math unit, and then from, say, another course called Physics 12, let's say, I upload another unit that happens to be the first unit in that course, it's just going to put all that content below this. And I think that did actually happen in one of these. Yeah, this one. Yeah, this one. So it's, motion stuff all of a sudden. Then goes to force, because I also wanted the force unit from a different Moodle. And so now I have like 2 units stacked on top of each other inside the wrong unit. So it's a disaster. I'm going to have to take some time to go through all this, or I might end up just deleting them and redoing them, that kind of thing. Anyway, I will show you how to avoid all these problems. So let's go back to the Moodle course, and let me walk you through this process. So I have 9 units right here, and I would like to take a unit from a physics course that is not currently one of these units yet. Okay, so since I have 9, I need to basically take over unit 10 or unit 11, something like that. So let's go back here. Let's go to physics. Let's say I want to take it from physics 11. So I want to take that's math tools, but it's unit 1. So if I do unit 1, it's going to mess up my Moodle course. It's going to be put in unit 1. So this is the trick. You're going to go ahead and turn editing on, and now here, this unit here, you want to make this unit 10. And in order to make that unit 10, you're going to have to move it there. But there's no unit 10 currently, so it's not going to get, if I move it to the bottom, the best I can get is turn it into unit 8. So you just simply add a couple more units. However, I've noticed that the formatting from the WCLN site, it says increase the number of sections, but if you click on it, it actually says add a new course. So it's like a button that links to adding new courses, which is not what you want. And so this is where you punch the monitor if you're getting real angry. Or I can show you how to get around this. Let's go back. So instead of worrying about this button not linking to the right place, what we do is we go under here, go to Edit Settings. Alright. And here's the course, and we're going to switch the format, because there's something messed up with this format here. So right now it's the grid format, but it's not behaving the way a grid format would normally work. So what I did is I switched to tile format, and click on Save and Display. And the tile format's the format that I originally suggested that you use, and so you probably recognize this a little more. It's all collapsed and everything. Here's unit 8. Now you can see down here it says add tiles, and so you can actually click on this and say, how many tiles you want to add. Well, I want to get all the way to unit 10, so I'm going to add 2 tiles. Okay, so now instead of adding a new course, it's added the 2 tiles. Now I can click on this unit. This is the one I want. I'm going to bring this. It's called Math Tools. I'm going to bring it all the way down. It's going to take me a little bit. Keep track of it because it's called Unit 1. And I want to bring it all the way down there. Right there. Okay, so even though it says Unit 1, it's now in the 10th unit spot. And so now is the time I can transfer this over. Okay, so I had to actually change the format of the class just so that I had the option to add a tile. And then when I could add the tiles, the extra tiles, then I could move it to that spot. Okay, I could now go back and go, now you don't need to do this part, but I'll just show you because you might be curious about that. You can go back to course format, and now you can switch it back to grid format if you prefer to look at it the way it usually is. go to save and display, or the way it came, I guess. So now it looks the way it used to, except for it's got the two things. If I wanted to edit this, which editing's still on, now look down here, we got a plus and a minus. Yeah, so now it's actually working the way it should work. I can add another section really easily here. It's section 11. And you can see unit 1 is in section 10 spot, you can say. Okay, so you don't have to switch it back to that, and in fact I'm going to go switch back to tile just to be rebellious here. Not really rebellious, but you know what I mean, just because I'm used to. Well, used to is a funny word for something you're just learning. Okay, so now I have everything in the tile format the way I kind of like it, like this, because everything's collapsed nicely. I have unit 1 in the 10th spot. Okay, I will now stop editing, turn editing off. Okay, and then there it is. That's all set up just so that I can go back to my Moodle, which, remember, the Moodle has 9, so I want the 10th one to be the new unit. Now here's how you're going to import. You're going to go import. Again, this was I can't remember, was it this one? Let's go. I think it was. Let me just double check. Yeah, it was the 11th one. Okay, yeah, don't forget things. Okay, so what happened there? Yeah, 11th one. Continue. Okay, and then you're going to I would just keep all of this here. I'm not sure why you would uncheck anything. There might be a reason. Maybe I'll learn about that. But for now, I'm just going to keep them all, everything. And now you can either go, I could click all none, and that declicks everything. And then I just go to the unit I want and click all the things. And then you're clicking about, oh, I don't know. Like for this one, that's just a table, but for a lot of them, it's, you know, 20 or more. Or you can say all, which clicks everything, and just uncheck the units that you don't want. So I'm not actually sure which is the faster, but here I have to uncheck, let's say 10 boxes, which I scroll down to randomly, not randomly, but in order, as opposed to having to click however many boxes that was, maybe. I don't know if it's 20. So then we're going to click next, and I'm just going to grab the scroll on the side of the page here and just scroll all the way to the bottom and go perform import. Now, one thing to note here, this thing hopefully will import fairly quickly for you, but it loves to hang up on the 99 point some percentage. Also loves to hang up on 75, so don't worry. I might just fast forward here. Okay, now it's gonna hang up on 99.14 for a little while. Okay, so now it's done. Just be patient with it. Importing. If you're importing a lot more than just one unit, then it'll take a bit longer. But just let it do all its things. You can go for a coffee or something like that, so you're not like losing your mind. Okay, so we press continue, and now you can see that at the very bottom here on the 10th spot is unit 1, which is perfect. Now that's much easier if you're like, well, actually I want it to be the 3rd unit here. Super easy. You can just click on here, go turn editing on, and we want to move that to the, let's move it up to the 3rd one here. So after movies, we want it to be there. We can move it up there. And of course, now I don't want to call it unit 1. I'm going to just call it math. Press enter. There it is, math. Oh, I got another math. Let's call this one, I'll call it physics. Okay. So there, that's how you do it. Okay, now I have, if I go turning editing off, you can see that I now have 10. So now if I want to import more, I need to I need to put more spaces in the other Moodle that I'm importing from, so that it's going 11, 12, 13, so on. Okay, I want to show you one more thing here, and that is, let's say for reading. I got nothing in reading right now, and I find a perfect reading unit. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's in the 6th place, or 6th section. And so let's go back to my home. Let's find, let's go back to Physics 11, just because it's one I've already modified quite a bit here. I want, let's say I want forces, the one here with, now let's go waves. I'm going to have waves as my reading unit. So you'll notice that right now it's currently not in the 6th place. It's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in the 7th spot. And so what I want to do is actually rearrange it first. So let's go back up to turn editing on. And again, in this view, it's really easy to move. I'm going to move it up 1. And I want to just make sure to count here because I'm not starting with unit 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now it's in the 6th spot. Now, and at the same time, if there's other ones that I want to add, I could put it in the 12th and like I could add some more here and put some spaces in, so I can dump a bunch of units at once. But for this one, it's in the 6th spot. So now I can go back. I guess I can just go back. I don't have to turn the editing off. I can go back to my Moodle, and I guess I'll turn it off here. And again, the 6th spot is going to be reading. So I'm going to go import again. I'm going to go to my course, continue. I'm going to keep all these settings, go next. And I just want the 6. So this is 1. This first one here is the top part here. It's not part of the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one here is the one I wanted, right? The one about waves. That's the 6th one. So I'll uncheck all the rest of this. Next. Okay, and you've seen all this before, so I'll scroll to the bottom. Go perform import, and I'll cut this part of the video out. Alright, so there it is. Now when I take a look at where it actually moved it to and go into reading, you'll notice now there's a whole bunch of content in there, and you can see that the whole waves unit got put inside the reading. And seriously, this is going to save you a ton of time, because if you accidentally put it in a different unit and now you're like, oh crap, I need to undo that, you're better off probably just deleting this unit. Like just going in, turn editing off, on. Even if you've put in the work of putting a beautiful picture there, hopefully you've saved that picture somewhere, but you're better off being like, oh man, I need to just delete this unit and redo it. So actually that's what I'm going to do with my physics, is I'm going to delete those units that I screwed up, and I'm going to redo them, re-put in the pictures and the title, all that, because that's much quicker than going into here and being like, oh, I gotta move this into robotics and then this into robotic, and oh, I got it in the wrong order. This is gonna be a hassle. I mean, it's up to you. You decide what kind of adventure you want. Or imagine if you had to put it up a few units above. My goodness, you'd be hating life. So just keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps and saves you a lot of heartache and time. But one last thing, I'd suggest transferring the units that you want to take from other Moodles. Do that first, and then put your content in. If you've already put your content in, I would say be really careful how you import the new units, and maybe import them so they go at the very bottom after all your units, and then drag them in, or just or insert them how I've shown you here by lining up with the exact unit number that you want. All right, we'll see you next time.